breaking news. Stephen Curry will miss a few games after straining his hamstring. You hate to see injuries in the game, but it's part of the game. And it's a shame because Stephen Curry was balling. He had like 13 points in 13 minutes. It's a shame. But the Warriors were still able to get the 99-88 win against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who probably shot the worst a playoff team has ever shot in the history of the game. Man, that was hard to watch on the Minnesota Timberwolves' part. But coming into this series, I picked the Wolves to win this series in 5. They're going to take out the Warriors in 6 now. Because without Stephen Curry, the looks that guys normally get will not be open. The Timberwolves are going to come back hungry, and they're going to even it up. The only way I don't see that happening is if Jimmy Butler turned into Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat when he took them boys to the finals. And I just don't see that happening because Jimmy Butler not 100%, and he's older. You know, another thing that could be key, if the Warriors want to have a chance in this series, is Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield been playing ball. You know, folks forget Buddy Hield could go get you 18 a night. He just inconsistent. But I don't know what then got into this guy. If Jimmy Butler could come and give you 18, 20 plus a night, with Stephen Curry there or not, the Warriors still may have a chance. I just don't see it though. You know, a lot of people look at Draymond Green. They say he ain't really good like that. He overrated. But man, I could tell you one thing. Draymond Green probably played the best game I'd have never seen him play. Now I know he didn't have games where he done scored more points than this, but to put it all together, I don't think he had a game like this here, man. He was special out there. And you don't say that too many times with Draymond Green. He showed you why he was a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year award. And last night, when you seen him on that court, you would have thought he won it. Because he was locked in defensively, man. But not only that, he's catching teams off guard with his ability to knock down that 3-ball. Look like somebody been putting in practice with that 3-ball. Draymond couldn't shoot like that. It's like when it's leaving his hand now, you know it's going in. Or it's a little short. He used to miss them threes badly. He's shooting them with confidence. Teams are leaving him wide open, and he making them pay, man. 18.6 assists to go with 8 rebounds and great defense. I think he had 14 points in the first half. That's what made up for Stephen Curry, you know, once he got hurt. Strength in numbers. That always been the Warriors' motto, you know, and it showed again because they shot 43% on the road, man, from 3. 39% as a team. You can expect your field goal percentage to go down when your star player is missing. They were a plus 10 in rebounding with 51 rebounds to 41. That's crazy, man. Plus 7 in the assist category. They had 26. They were plus 3 in the steals category with 10 steals. They only turned the ball over 12 times compared to the Timberwolves 16. They were balling, man. You know, shouts out to the Warriors from holding their composure after Stephen Curry got hurt and going and win a good game. But man, they gonna need all the help they can get because Minnesota gonna shake back, you know. Rudy Gobert, he has to be more physical and make an impact on the game. Only 9 points, 11 rebounds. Naj Reid, he picked it up, but they gonna need him to be clutch in this series. DiVincenzo, he had 7 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he didn't even score from the field. That can't happen when you're at home. You know what I'm saying? And he had 1 point at halftime, man. 1 point was awful from the field. 0 for 7 from the field in the first half. He finished with 23 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists. Jaden McDaniels, he was okay, but they're going to need him to give him more production too. Julius Randle, He been consistent all playoffs for the Timberwolves. 18.6 assists, 3 rebounds. But man, in the next game, I expect every last player on the Timberwolves to increase their production. Because they shot 40% from the field. That was just awful, especially at home, man. 17% from three, 5 of 29 from the field. That ain't gonna cut it, man, at all. And they only had 19 assists. It ain't gonna cut it. You ain't gonna win like that at all, man. Can you believe it that the Warriors are the best defensive team in the playoffs right now? They gonna have to hang their hat on that defense if they want to pull off this, because their offense gonna struggle without Stephen Curry being there. I also expect Steve Kerr to give Jonathan Kuminga more minutes. We've seen him play the most he's played in a while in this game here. I expect him to get a lot more minutes. We got to talk about Anthony Edwards, though. Y'all be trying to compare this boy to Michael Jordan. Can we put that to bed? Michael Jordan probably would have found a way to win this game. When your shot not falling, you don't continue to shoot. You have to go rebound. You have to become a facilitator. You have to play second fiddle to someone. And hasn't figured that out yet. You know what I'm saying? He just kept pulling them. And it was hurting the team. You know, and by him missing all them shots, the Warriors was able to knock down a few, you know, and they went on a few runs that the Timberwolves just couldn't handle. Steve Kerr got outcoached in this one too. Not Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr outcoached Finch in this one, because when you look at things, like the Warriors, they undersized. They had Jimmy Butler guarding Rudy Gobert. That's crazy, because if you got Jimmy Butler guarding Rudy Gobert, that means he's taking away the one player on your team that gives you an advantage to beat them with your size. Rudy Gobert had 9 points. I know Rudy bigger than him, but Jimmy Butler strong. He know all the little tricks of the game. You know what I'm saying? Rudy Gobert not a player that will just post you up and dominate. So you can guard him if you know what you're doing. And Jimmy Butler's a vet. He done seen it all. You know, putting Jimmy Butler on him, it don't really make Jimmy Butler work like that. You know, he going to be fresher on offense because he's guarding the least offensive guy on the team. Minnesota Timberwolves got to notice that and get Jimmy Butler off of Rudy Gobert. You put Rudy Gobert on anyone else, you going to win. And what I don't like right now is like Rudy Gobert, he's running away from Draymond. Rudy Gobert should be guarding Draymond Green the whole game. You know what I'm saying? If they're going to let Draymond continue to play off, the Warriors might find a way and win this series, but I don't see it happening. Minnesota Timberwolves have to make the adjustments. Get Jimmy Butler off of Rudy and get Draymond on him. Make Jimmy Butler guard one of your best players. You got to make him work, because if you make Jimmy Butler work defensively, they're going to take away from his offense, and then they're going to have no chance. Because if Jimmy Butler ain't going to get you 20 points without Steph, they not winning. Buddy Hield might go get you 20, but who else going to go get you 20? Podziemski? I don't think Podziemski going to have a good series. Timberwolves are good on the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see how this one play out, because Anthony Edwards, he better seize the moment, and he better seize it real quick, because he got a chance to go to the Western Conference Finals and potentially get to his first NBA Finals. Will he step up? Time will tell.